What is up, guys? It's your boy Shocker, the 96 Hedgehog, here to give you two important announcements. One will be its own separate video, and then one will be this video right now, and that we made some transactions in the WWC. And if you guys didn't check out our run, it's been 3 weeks, and we're currently 1-2. Our team isn't looking the greatest. Have I been making some misplays in week 3? Yes, I did. Week 2, I just got body bagged. Straight up body bagged. So, we looked at the team. We made some transactions. These transactions do help. They do make a new focal point of the weakness. But I think these transactions will help our team and actually will benefit us a lot more. So, if you guys are hyped for the transactions and want to know why we dropped and added what we added, definitely leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe to join the Phil Shocker crew today because you can be familiar with the king of the crew. So let's go over the mons we dropped in this league. So we sadly dropped Ferrothorn. I honestly did not want to drop Ferrothorn, but the fact that, Stealth Rock spikes are really good, but Ferrothorn becomes setup fodder, it becomes bait for a lot of Pokemon. I could probably see myself bringing Ferrothorn almost every single week in these games, but I just felt like Ferrothorn didn't do that much for the team in the end. And I just think, I needed a little more bulk, I needed a little more offense, and Ferrothorn is just a bulk Pokemon. I'm using it in GADL, I definitely want to use Ferrothorn in NL League because I do love Ferrothorn. I just think maybe we need to move a different direction, and you'll see why, and I'll go in a second. Up next, we dropped Mega Blastoise, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, I really am feeling hurt by this. But the main reason I dropped this is because I picked up a G-Max Pokemon, which kind of spoiled it right before we had it. Now, the reason why I had to drop Blastoise is if you pick up a G-Max Pokemon, you have to drop your Mega. You are not allowed to have both Mega and G-Max Pokemon. That is against the rules. And plus, makes your team look overpowered and doesn't make any fun. So, I did have to drop my Mega in order to go for the G-Max. And my G-Max, as you may have already saw, had a typing that was originally on this team. So, I had to drop the Mega and the typing itself in order to make it fit on the team. I dropped Entei, and honestly, I'm not really upset with this one. Entei was just... It wasn't matching up so far in the matchups. It wasn't doing much, and when you keep looking for my schedule, I don't think it's going to match up well. So I just decided to drop Entei because Entei wasn't going to do too much for the team. Aerodactyl, I'm a little upset with this one because I would have loved to use normal Aerodactyl. I've always used Mega Aerodactyl so well, and I would have loved to try regular. The Tailwind option was really cool for Dracovish and stuff like that. And I really felt it was a really good Pokemon. I might go in the future and try regular Aerodactyl again, but we never know. And we dropped Porygon 2. I'm not really disappointed because I haven't used Porygon 2 a little bit in the past. But I feel like I had to drop Porygon 2 because it's just a bulky Pokemon. It can do some work with things like Trace, Download, and Analytic is really good. It's just a good Pokemon. Once I lose my Violite, this Pokemon is not as bulky. It's still bulky, but not as bulky. And it just becomes setup fodder for a lot of teams. So, these are the drops we made. So, let's go over the transactions we made here. First transaction is Ellie, the G-Max Caparaja. Now, I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this because Caparaja's normal defenses are, first off, it's obviously the joke number 69, so let's get it out of the way. It's not the best, but HP stat-wise, it's phenomenally good. Offensively, it is phenomenally good. And also, the abilities Heavy Metal and Seer Force are phenomenal. Heavy Metal makes his Pokemon's weight double, so it makes moves like Heavy Slam and Heat Crash more stronger and do so much more damage versus my opponent. Sheer Force is actually really good for the fact that if I run something like, let's say... Iron Head. I don't get the chance to flinch, but I get a boost to Iron Head stab. So that is one of the reasons I wanted it. And plus, this now gives me Steel Spikes or Steel Stealth Rocks, which actually do 25% to Fairy types on the switch-in, which is really good. Because if you look at our team really kind of struggles versus Fairy types. But again, this is a phenomenal pickup, and this was the reason why I dropped Ferrothorn and picked up and had to drop Blastoise. I think it's going to be a worthy pickup, though. I'm actually really excited because I've always did want to try Caparaja, But I think trying the G-Max Copperage is going to be a little better. I will agree with Zach, the design of this Pokemon is really weird and it doesn't make much sense. But it's a great Pokemon nonetheless. So dropping both Aerodactyl and Entei, I picked up the legend itself, Phoenix. I love this Pokemon so much, guys. The fact that this Pokemon is really good, and the fact of the introduction of heavy-duty boots is so clutch on this Pokemon. This now lets Talonflame play a defensive role for me, because now it can be a defogger if I absolutely need to. It can be a setup Winmon with Gale Wings. It's got access to Flame Body, so again, I can now make this Pokemon defensive if I really want to. This offensively is a monster with Swords Dance, which is really, really good. I think this Pokemon overall is just really good. It doesn't really fix up the speed tier of Aerodactyls, but gives me one that's still relatively fast and fits this team in a way that I keep my flying type, which means I keep a defog option, and gives me another way of stopping Hazard. I will say this, with these transactions, I lose the option to Rapid Spin, so that's going to be something in the future I'm going to have to really take into consideration. But it was something I definitely considered when I did this. The next transaction, I had to get a grass type, and the only budget grass type left I saw that was really good value and would really help the team in coverage was Appleton, actually. And I've never used Appleton, and I'm actually going to excited to try Appleton. Appleton is actually a really good defensive Pokemon. It's said to be a little better than Flapple. If we're talking G-Max Flapple and G-Max Appleton, Flapple's way better. Offensively, Flapple's not bad, but again, Hustle's the thing with that, and Flapple is just you gotta run Yachi Berry or Focus Sash every week. The great thing about Appleton that makes it a little better than Flapple is Thick Fat. Thick Fat is super good in the fact that Thick Fat stops fire and ice type moves. And if you look at our team with the addition to this, fire and ice can be a bit of a problem, but now with having this move, Ice Beam moves and stuff like that, never one hit me. They don't do too much to me, and I generally think it really helps out the team. I can still run things like Ripen, so I can double the effect of a berry. So if I want to run a Spadef berry, I get the Spadef boost too, so it's like having an Amnesia boost and stuff like that. Access to things like, do we get Iron Defense? We get Iron Defense, so we can do some Iron Defense body press shenanigans. We get access and recover, Leech Seed. This really can support the team, and I really think this was a good pickup. I'm not confident about this Pokemon, but I think we're going to be really great with this Pokemon. So another reason why I dropped Aerodactyl in that sense is we're picking up Sand, baby. We picked up Sand. And here's the reason why we picked up Sand. Hidden abilities in WWC, if I haven't said it already, are legal. So that means I drafted Sand with Tyranitar, and now not only does this boost my Reuniregis, whatever, special defense in Sand, or I think it does, maybe, I don't remember, or it helps it in Sand. It will boost my Caparaja in Sand. It will boost my Tyranitar in Sand, and now it will boost Dracovish with Sand Rush with its speed being doubled. This now makes Dracovish more of a monster of a threat because Banded Life Orb. I can bring that every single week now and be a monster of a threat versus so many teams now. I will admit the strong jaw boost is going to be something we're going to work with, but other than that, Dracovish is so much more deadly now with this team. Plus, the option of Tyranitar gives me another option for Trick Room offensive prowess if I want to go that route. And for some reason, everything gets Iron Defense. Iron Defense, Body Press, Special Offensive T-Tar. Don't sleep on that. We may bring that one week in a row. Dragon Dance Tyranitar is also really, really good. It gives me another Stealth Rock user. It gives me another Dark type, but I think having dual Dark types is not that bad. We are a bit fighting weak, but I think this is the team we had to go with. And the last transaction we made, which we dropped Porygon for, we picked up Abyssal. So we lost normal typing, which isn't bad because it gets rid of the normal type weakness, so we didn't have a fighting weakness. And with Azelf, gives us a base 115 speed tier, gives me a mixed attacker, but primarily a little more special attacker. It gives me another Stealth Rock user, another Taunter, a knockoff user, a U-Turn to pivot, Trick to stop it, and Trick Room for another Trick Room option. So this team now has a way of using Trick Room. This team has a way of using Webs. This team has to use Sand, Hazard, Stack, I think this team really came together. I'm a little sad if some of the mons were dropped, but I think this team looks so much better. But that's going to be the video. Definitely leave it down below. Which transaction do you like the most? Which one do you think made the most sense? And which one of these is going to have to be the MVP of the transaction? But all that being said, I've been Phil Shock, and I Hedgehog. Peace.